Instead of use VLookup function, HLookup function, Xlookup function, or index match function, why not use the lookup function? Just that lookup function. The lookup function is a really good function that can help us to solve real problems, to solve critical situations. And there's many different situations where the VLookup function and the HLookup function doesn't work properly. So a good alternative is the lookup function instead of using the Xlookup or the index match function. So let's take a look here in this practical example where I need to solve this real problem. This right table here, this blue one, I have a lot of different information such as the date, the order ID, the category. Basically is a sales report where a salesperson, John, sold a lot of different products and a lot of different categories of products such as grain, cereal, coffee, and so on and so on. And the problem here is each one of the different categories have a different commission. So I need to calculate here the commission or bring as result the percentage of each one of the commissions to calculate the final commission, and that way to know how much is the John is going to receive for all the sales that Jones did, okay? And where can I look up for the commission value? I can look up in this left table right here, this green one, where I have information such as commission, category, and code. So I can take as reference the category and bring back as result the commission value, the value that corresponds to the category itself. So let's say John sold an item that is grain. So I can take here the category grain and take the commission, 8%, that corresponds to the grains category. This is how the lookup function can help me. And also, in a theoretical way, the VLookup or the HLookup function can help me. Let's start with the VLookup function, and that way we're going to see why the VLookup function is not going to work properly here. So let's take a look here in the commission where I need to fill it in with the correct result. And instead of doing it manually, of course, I can. For example, grain, I can take here. Okay, grain is 8%. So I type it in here, 8, enter, and so on, but it's going to take me a long time, okay, to complete this task manually. So instead, equal sign, VLookup function, this one right here, 1, 2. Let's see why the VLookup function is not going to work here. The lookup value that I'm going to use here is the category. Let's start with the first cell, grain, comma. The table array is going to be, let's say, the column B, where I have the category, and also I need to select the column A, where I have the column with the values that I want to bring it back as result. And then, comma. Now the column index number that I'm going to bring it back as result is the column number 1, is the first column, because it's here in the commission where I have the values that I want to use as result. So first column, column 1, comma. And I want to use an exact match. Double click here, 1, 2, close parentheses, and then enter. As you guys can see, I'm going to have an arrow as result because we have a problem with the VLookup function. If the VLookup function is using the column B as the reference to look up the value, it only can take as result a column that is to the right. Okay, so this is how the VLookup works. Let's say I want to bring it back the code of the category. Okay, I actually can do it with the VLookup function because the code is to the right of my reference column. But in this situation right here, the commission is to the left of the reference that I'm looking for. That way, it's not possible to use the VLookup function here. And in the same way, the HLookup works in the same way. So for example, the HLookup is going to look up for a value in the row, and it can take any result in the next rows, in the rows underneath. But if you want to bring it back as result, a value that is over the reference, it's not possible to do it with the HLookup function. So both VLookup function and the HLookup function have a problem. That is this reference stuff to the right, to the left, and up, down, and so on and so on. But instead of using the VLookup function or the HLookup function, of course, we can use the Xlookup function to solve this problem. Or if you do not have the Xlookup function into your Excel version, you can use the index match function to help you. But instead of using these two functions, we can simply use the lookup function, simple as that. So it's not VLookup, it's not HLookup, it's just lookup. Equal sign, lookup, here we go. Double click here, 1, 2, and the lookup value that I'm going to use here is going to be the category, the same as before, comma. The lookup vector is where I'm looking for this category. So the category, I'm using the column B. I'm going to press comma again, and now my result vector is going to be the column that I want to bring it back as result if the criteria is met. Okay, so the first column, column A. Close parentheses and then enter. Here we go, 8%. Let's check if it's correct. Grain is equal to 8%. So grain, 8%. Yeah, it's perfectly correct. Now if I click, hold, and drag down, maybe we got some errors in a couple of different cells because we need to lock the reference. When I say lock the reference, I mean when you click, hold, and drag down function, you can see that the reference, look at the category reference, the blue one, is moving down along as the function itself. And the same thing happens with all the references. So the reference of the category and also the reference of the range that we are bringing back as result also is going to move down. So we need to lock the reference. And to lock the reference, to make sure we do not lost the category in the commission reference, we can select here the first reference that we want to lock, select everything, and then press F4 key to input the $sign before the column and before the row, before the letter, before the number to lock the reference. I can do the same thing here to the second range, that is the purple one. Select everything, F4 key to lock the reference, and then enter. Now I can click, hold, and drag down, and that's it, we're done. So this is how we can use the lookup function in Excel to help us solve real problems. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or any suggestions to the next videos, let me know, comment down below, and I see you tomorrow. As every day has a new video, I see you there.